Yay.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
We are live. How's everybody doing? We're going to do a spoiler-free live stream tonight for Rhythm of War. We're not going to be talking about Rhythm of War, so just getting that out of the way right away. However, how many of you have started Rhythm of War, and what chapter are you on? Okay. And in the meantime, while you tell me in the chat, I'm going to make some announcements, and then we can get going on this fun stuff. So this is Stormlong 2020. This is a read-along to prepare for Rhythm of War, the fourth book in the Stormlight Archives series by Brandon Sanderson, which is now out, and most of you have probably gotten it, or started reading it, or have read it. And this is the fourth of 4 live streams on Oathbringer, and it is our official Stormalong finale, although we'll have some good news about that in a minute. And this will cover chapters 99 through the end of Oathbringer and the rest of the trilogy, really. The first 3 books. We'll have some discussion questions tonight, and followed by an open mic time. And at that point, you can talk about whatever you want. You really can talk about whatever you want anytime, but if it's going to be like a long one, maybe you wait. Did I say Rhythm of War?
No.
Oh, except for Rhythm of War, yeah. No, yeah, not that at all. That cannot be even in the open mic. Yeah, so, and what else? Sorry, lost my spot. If you want to see our previous discussions, they are linked down below for the Way of Kings and Words of Radiance in the earlier parts of Oathbringer. And we also have an official Stormalong 2020 playlist, which in the next few days, after Stormalong is over, I'm going to be updating it so that it's all nicer and prettier. So if you actually have made any videos that you want me to include in there, please message me them. I have not kept up over the last 6 months. And these, of course, are my co-hosts, and they've all made lots of videos, and Michael and Ryan both have their own playlists. So do you guys want to introduce yourself, starting with Stormalong 2023?
Sure. I'm Stormalong 2023, so I'll see you guys in a few years, ready for book 5. No, I'm Ryan from Seeking Stories, where I talk about books and movies, and mainly just Stormlight Archive books for the last few months.
Yes, and Ryan loves doing really almost like mini check-ins that are really analytical on the books in the series, and also he has made them into potential, how they could be made into movies. He's made videos on that, so that's all linked down below. Definitely check that out. And Michael, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Michael from the channel Michael Nip, and I think that at this point I'm just like a full-on Sanderson / Stormlight Archive simp / stan / whatever pejorative you want to have for me.
Yes, he has lots of videos on the Stormlight Archives on his channel. Lots and lots. Just did a Rhythm of War wait, was there spoilers in there?
No, not in that one.
Okay.
I haven't made a spoiler one. I still want to.
You can maybe look for that coming up. And of course we have Victoria, who has not read Rhythm of War yet. So let's protect Victoria.
For shame. Yes, I have not.
No shame.
I've started Dawn almost done with Dawn Shard, but I'm Victoria. My channel is a musical bookworm, and I have just been having the greatest time reading these books for the first time. It has been a real journey before the destination. And yeah, I'm excited to read Rhythm of War. I just haven't read it yet. I'm sorry.
I haven't either, Victoria.
That's cool. We wanted to keep this spoiler-free anyways, so.
Okay, good.
For future generations of Stormalongs. Okay, so Victoria has very unique content on her channel. She's done 3 music videos about Radiance and their Spren, so definitely check those out. They're all 3 linked down below. And we also have some other shows coming up that I wanted to tell you guys about. First, there's going to be a live stream about Rhythm of War happening on World Hoppers, and Elliot Brooks kindly invited Michael and I to take part in that. So that'll be December 9th over on the World Hoppers channel. That's linked down below. And also, announcing for the first time, we're going to be having a Stormlight Archives game live stream here on my channel on December 17th. So this is like a new thing that we're trying out, just to hold us over until we can do the Rhythm of War reunion live stream sometime in January-ish. So mark that on your calendars. We're really looking forward to that. Just be some games that we're like word games, and we love to have you participate in those because everybody in the chat is so fun. That's really what makes it really fun and random. And so please come hang out with us. That will be for the first 3 books as well. Okay, so that's all the announcements. That was like the longest announcements ever. I'm going to put a question banner down on the bottom of the screen, and we can start talking about that. But again, just if there's something you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll talk about it. Okay. So let's start with something very general. How is Oathbringer different from the previous 2 books, and how did you feel about it? Give us your ratings.
Victoria, go.
Well, for me, it was, in the end, a 5-star book. And really, the ending did that for me. I was honestly thinking, like, Oathbringer, it's going to be my least favorite. But actually, by the end, when everything was said and done, I really appreciated what answers we got and, like, all the different puzzle pieces we got in Oathbringer. And the ending was just the best sanderlanche, in my opinion, of the 3. And it really did feel worth it at the end. You could definitely argue that it could be cut by like 300 pages, which I think Ryan might also argue, but it was really fantastic in the end. So I really liked this one. I think it's maybe, I don't know, I'll have to reread them to really decide, but I think it's my second favorite. I think I'm going with that.
I'm just going to plagiarize Victoria's response pretty much verbatim. Yeah, I agree. I think the ending was absolutely incredible. I remember messaging some people after the Sanderlanche, and I'm like, that was like the most amazing thing I've ever read. Like the Way of King Sanderlanche, which was my favorite thing of all time, is like crap compared to this. I feel like not really, but yeah, 300 pages easily could be cut. I can't even remember what happened in the first 800 pages of the book, honestly. But the ending was amazing. It's like it wrapped up so many things, but at the same time, it gave us so many more questions. Why does Sanderson have to do that to us? It's like the end of every single one of his books could wrap up the series if he just like tweaked it just enough. But he's like, but wait, there's more.
Yes, we got to get 10 books out of it. So there's always more.
Yeah.
Michael, were you laughing? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I would say watch Sanderson get to the end of book 10 and be like, oh wait, guys, sorry, there's like 12 books.
He can't live that long. We can't allow for that.
That's true. We
I would
already
not
talked about
put it past him.
We already talked about his heir apparent and Michael died.
Oh my gosh. Michael, were you laughing earlier about something?
Yeah. Zeth said something in the chat that I probably shouldn't laugh at principle, but it was funny. So.
Okay. Oh yes, this one's great.
Yeah, that
one.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done.
I have not seen Jade's book diaries yet for the rest of Oathbringer, and I'm excited for those because I think they're going to be awesome.
They're so fun. They're super fun. I think she posted one today or yesterday, and I haven't seen the newest one. So excited.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, second favorite, Leslie. Very cool.
Is that second favorite Sanderson series or second favorite series of all time?
I think she's saying it's her second favorite in
in the series.
in the series. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe I should have chosen a better hashtag. But it's serious.
So obviously, I think that the thing that we're all talking about is the major difference in this book is that he just decides to give a lot of side characters POVs, and my struggle with that one is I really like having that information, but it does kind of kill the flow. Like it kills the pacing. It's like if this was a TV series, those would be considered the filler episodes. But if those characters are your favorite, like if Rock is your favorite character, you need all of the Bridge 4 POVs. So it's both important and also not the most relevant.
True. In other words, if this was being adapted, you could axe a lot of it and no one would be upset.
Yeah, I think parts 2 and 4 of the book you could probably drastically squish, if not axe.
I think you could. We're still working on the Words of Radiance video. That one's just a nightmare, trying to figure out how to turn that into a movie. But Oathbringer, I feel like, is relatively comparatively easy. Yeah, because there is just so much of that it is important to the story, but you can lose it without losing. There's ways to kind of take the information in Oathbringer and separate it out, I feel like, in a better way.
Maybe you could do like a Bridge 4 mini series or something.
There you
That's
go.
like Bridge 4.
Spin-offs are in these days.
Yeah.
Maybe this is slightly off topic, but since you mentioned your Words of Radiance video, are you cutting out basically everything in the Shallan story from the point where the boat happens to when she shows up at the Shattered Plains? Because everyone talks about Words of Radiance having the best pacing, but I find that section to be the most boring section.
And that's where I'm struggling so much. And really what I'm doing, and this is why it's taking so ridiculously long to do that video, is like trying to figure out, because there's so much information that comes out there, like the thing, like her getting her, like using her shard blade and all that, and then her relationship with other characters that are important. So it's like, how do you consolidate that information without like losing key points? So yeah, some of that is being axed, but at the same time, you have to be careful what you axe because it's important, very important later on. Whereas I feel like Oathbringer, there's things that aren't as quite important to the journey. And I might eat those words later, but
I feel like that's probably the hardest thing. Is I feel like by the time we get to Oathbringer, more of the interludes from Way of Kings make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like I need to go back and reread just the interludes from the Way of Kings when I finish Oathbringer, because the end of Oathbringer puts so many more things in different perspectives. Like that's the quote, benefit of having all of the world building, is the nice way to say what Oathbringer is full of. Is like, oh, now all of this other stuff is in a different light. So maybe that could mean something different than I originally thought it would.
Right. I still don't think I would change anything in the Way of Kings adaptation at this point. I think I would still make everything go.
Lopen is my least favorite bridgeman.
No,
Jay.
What?
Oh no.
That's
I am more
crazy.
pro Lopen than I am pro Rock, and I think that's probably not okay. But
That is not okay.
No, I'm right there too. Lopen's my favorite character in the entire series.
I'm more pro Rock. I'm more.
Yeah.
okay, we can talk about dang it. I don't want to talk about anything in the future. I'm just saying that Dawn Shard has Lopen in it, and it's amazing.
Yes. It.
Oh, really? Dawnshard has Lopen in it?
Yeah.
What? Have you started Dawnshard, Ryan?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'm not alone.
Even in my spoiler-free review of Dawn Shard, I didn't mention that because I didn't want to imply that certain characters were alive. But we're on an Oathbringer stream, so we know who's alive at the end of Oathbringer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say this every live stream, but if Lopen dies, I'm done. I'm just done, guys. I keep hearing people say Rhythm of War is epic and sad, and if it's sad because Lopen's dead, I'm done.
Who is your least favorite bridgeman then? The panel of Stormalong, if it's not Lopen.
My least favorite?
I mean, I guess the default is
Are we
Moash,
talking about the current iteration of Bridgeman at the end of Oathbringer, or like over the course of like the entire? Like, if you were a bridgeman at some point, does that count?
Well, Moash is Moash. If you allow Moash to be on the list, he's going to be the least favorite. I feel like.
Yeah. That's
Well,
a hard one.
He
I
just
feel-
does such a bad, dirty thing with Elokar.
I know.
Yeah.
Man, who are all
I
the
don't have like
bridgemen?
super strong feelings about them in general, but like I'm most interested in Sigil and Relaine. And Rock is probably my favorite, and probably Lopin somewhere in the middle, maybe. I don't know.
One of my complaints is that we didn't get Erlane like barely at all in Oathbringer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
We were
about
kind
him.
of building him up a bit, and then he just kind of disappears in Oathbringer. I don't know, unless I'm forgetting something, but I don't remember him being super.
No, he's unfortunately not as prominent as you would hope.
Yeah. Here's why Lopin is the best bridgeman of all time. I know that's not the question you're asking right now. In that council meeting, he brings in like a freaking throne to sit on, which was my favorite part of the entire book, I think. It's like such a Lopin thing to do.
But Teft though, Teft has the best arc, I think. Well, one of the best arcs. He has a really good.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
I know Sigil's chapter was kind of boring. I was really disappointed because it seems like he knows like so much that like if we knew it, I feel like we would be in the know. But yeah, I'm just curious. I want to know what he knows.
He's the one
He's
who's
got some
trained by Wit, right? Sorry.
What was that,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think he's the one that has had some kind of history with Wit and was like a student of Wit.
Exactly.
But we don't know much.
Yeah.
So maybe when Sanderson's 90, he'll go back and do what Stephanie Meyer's doing and rewrite the Stormlight Archive from the perspective of the bridgeman. Completely.
I
A lot.
I have established myself as a massive Stormlight Archive stan. We don't need that. That's too much. No way.
Well, Sanderson already has his work cut out for him because we all know he's going to finish, what do we say, Game of Thrones and Name of the Wind.
Yeah.
Oh, the famous Rich Smiley. This always happens when I'm on live streams with Rich and I say something dumb. He'll like correct me and then put a smiley face.
At least it's a smiley.
Yeah. Feel better about yourself, Christy, even though you're wrong. Oh gosh.
So where do you guys think the sanderlanche in this book starts?
Oh,
That's a
Like
hard
what is
one.
what is the part that you remember the pace starting to pick up?
I don't remember ever being very interested.
Oh my word, Christy. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
This
I gave
remember
this book
okay.
a C. Out
This
of
is
my
us
A
this
through
is us
F.
doing a little bit of behind the scenes baseball. Christine and I have been talking about Oathbringer for a very long time now, and I remember when we started this book, I think it's in the first live stream potentially, or maybe it was on the first Facebook post. She's like, yeah, this is going to be a rough one, y'all. And I'm like, some of my favorite scenes in the entire series are from this book. And she messages me on Oxford. She's like, what scenes? I don't believe you. What are your favorite scenes? I'm like, what are you talking about? The entire last part of this book is amazing.
The last part is like the part where I lose. I have so much trouble focusing on the entire battle of Thalen City. It's all a blur.
It is a massive battle with nothing but info drops while characters are in potential mortal danger, and I love it so much.
There was like one thing that was a big deal from there, and that was that humans are Oathbringers.
I think that's the main, for me, that's where the sanderlanche of this book starts. I always like to try to figure out where all of Sanderson's lanches start. Sanderson, yeah. And for me, it's Taravangian dropping the bomb in that council meeting, when it's like, oh frick, this is just gonna mess everything up. We had a good thing going.
Yeah.
And then it all just starts going south in a snowball effect.
I read the last like 250 pages all in one sitting, so like I can't in my mind figure out like what happened in what order. It all just like is a big nebulous ball of like stuff.
I'm
So-
gonna agree with Q and T right here. Like, I think this is where it was for me too. This is where I was really gripped, and I was like, I can't put this down.
That's where we finally understand what went down with Dalinar.
Yeah.
That all sort
Yeah.
of fits into the same area because I think it's just before the Taravangian bomb.
Yeah. I like what Overdose Chill Pill said. Daddy Dalinar summoning the Heaven Light Beam.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit after the start of the Sanderlanche, but that's definitely
Where's that?
a moment within the Sanderlanche. It's a little bit further up.
Oh, sorry, I missed
I
that
didn't
one.
catch it until just now.
Dang. Oh, there it is. Yes.
So I do think that is a common thing, though. Like, I think that even though I read this book this year, it was helpful for me to revisit like chapter summaries and stuff because so much is packed into the final 25% of this book that like
Mhm.
it's probably really good for the people that are going to be reading Rhythm of War. Like, I'm not always the type of person that says you have to read the last book right before you read the next book, but understanding the last 25% of Oathbringer helps so much when you're going into Rhythm of War because so much massive, huge things drop.
Mhm.
It's like bombshell after bombshell, and then like crazy things without explanation are happening, like the Yasna and Arin scene. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Mhm.
But it's
That was
all
pretty
interesting.
confusing.
The whole
Oops.
the whole ending really does feel like the last hour of Avengers Endgame in a way. It's just like you can't even like process.
Yeah, and I don't follow those very well either, so it's probably just a personal preference. You guys are probably all like hating me right now.
No.
Oh.
I just Q and TG on their Instagram just did an Oathbringer poll, and there was like yes and nah brah, and I was nah brah. Yeah, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I thought it was funny.
That moment though in the Sanderlanche when Dalinar has his little Captain America moment and all the Radiants line up next to him, like that moment, like I literally, I'm not saying literally in a figurative sense, I literally jumped out of the couch and was like so excited.
It's the Avengers Assemble moment. It's Dalinar's conclusion to his strange, twisted redemption arc.
Mhm.
Like that's the moment when he says, "No, I have the opportunity. I had the opportunity to forget everything, and I chose to try to be a better man. Now I have the opportunity to ditch all of the baggage that I've ever had in my entire life, every bad decision I've ever made, and I choose not to."
Yeah.
That's the moment that just gives me chills. It makes me cry. There's like there's a graphic audio version where you can hear like it dramatized, and people have uploaded that clip to YouTube. And every freaking time I listen to that clip, I get chills. So I'm like, dang man, that's a bold freaking choice because you were not a good dude.
Yeah. Yes, what Ramsey said.
Mhm.
Oh,
The
I'm
one with
sorry.
his head up. You know, yeah.
And he says, "You cannot have
This
my
one.
pain." And he
Yeah.
has
Taking responsibility. That was a good moment.
yes.
Yeah.
And then he slaps the fabric of time and space into a hole and freaking pulls in the rest of the Avengers.
Pretty much.
Like you
It's
do.
so good. Christy, I'm sorry you can't enjoy fun things.
I loved the first two. I don't know why, but I really just couldn't follow the action. I think it may have just been too much too fast. Maybe.
Oh, there's a lot.
At the
Yeah,
end.
there's so much.
If that had been spread out throughout the book, it probably would have been better.
Yasna is like going around just kicking butt, and then Adolin has to like go toe to toe for a little bit with the giant. What are they called?
The
What are
stone
those things
troll.
called?
Thunderclap.
Yes, the thunderclaps. Thank you, Victoria.
I was looking for quotes for something we're doing a little bit later, like just on Discord, and this one came up.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So Yasna has some fans.
I mean, she's on the cover of the book for a reason, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about this because did Moash have like a special weapon to kill them or something? Or like, because they're killed, like, he's like really dead now. Like, he's not going to be reborn. And I was curious, do we know? Like, is that still like totally mysterious? Any
That's the part that I had
theories?
trouble following too. I had to reread that part to kind of really get it.
Like the weapon? Are you talking about like the weapon?
Yeah, he used like some dagger. I don't. They described it in.
Oh,
Leslie
yeah.
said that he had an honor blade.
This is where I have to look around at where I am and say, it's a mystery.
Oh. So it must. Maybe we get answers.
Oh,
later
Ramsey's
then.
got it.
Ramsey's got it.
Okay.
Oh. Wow. All right. Interesting. Aluminum. Who knew it was that powerful?
Or is it aluminium?
We just freaking make cans out of it here.
Yeah.
Store our green beans in it.
Wait, so you're saying that my recycling is a shard blade?
Potentially more powerful, I guess. It can kill a herald.
That was
Okay.
a surprise to me was like Moash's actual purpose in Oathbringer was gonna be to kill Jezrien. Like I'm thinking that his actual purpose was to kill Elhokar, but no, like it went one step higher than that.
Yeah.
That was just mind blowing at the end. I was like, what? Can we just get rid of Moash, please?
There's a bunch of cryptics friends in this chat, guys. Trying to talk about Rhythm of War behind our backs.
Uh-oh. I won't look.
Are they? Uh-oh. Don't do that, guys.
No.
Oh my goodness. So what changes on Roshar now that we know who the real Voidbringers are? Do you think it's going to change anything about the various world leaders and their opinions of what's going on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's all I've got.
Yes, somehow. Mo trash.
Oh, that was over.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has to change things somehow. I'm not sure how. I don't even know how to guess at this point. But knowing Sanderson made a big deal of it through his characters in this book, so it has to play in the next book somehow. As I not look at Michael.
Well, I think morally they have a question that they have to wrestle with. Like they have to ask themselves, what are we fighting for?
Right.
And is our fight a just one or an unjust one? I think that could be a potential question in Rhythm of War.
Mm-hmm. And I think the benefit that possibly that the Radiants have now is that we assume that the Radiants from the Recreants kind of gradually found out about this truth, but now we have the new Radiants find out pretty early on, so they may be able to kind of deal with it maybe in a better way, maybe in a worse way, but because they're kind of Radiants learn this just a few weeks into everything, maybe that'll help them a little bit figure out what to do with this conundrum. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They've never had the heralds to talk to either, and now we know there's heralds in the universe. So I would think the heralds maybe will be able to maybe they'll talk to the heralds and get some more insight too that we don't even know yet.
Yeah. That quote of Rich's, I didn't even notice the dark smoke thing.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. That leaves even more questions for the greater Cosmere verse.
Funny.
Yes.
That's so true. Oh my word.
Oh man. Please, Bearded Bookworm, make a video of that somehow. That is the best thing I've seen all year.
That's pretty great. We have some good opinions about the Voidbringer thing.
Well, I think the situation is complex, even from what we just learned, because we know that what is happening with the listeners is not cool, and it's not something that they enjoy. So I think that it's more like it's more complicated than just like that's what Jade is talking about. It's more complicated than it's just like, oh, they're really the good guys and we're really the bad guys. It's like, no, maybe we were the bad guys, but also now I don't know because it's all over the place. There's so many things going on. The listeners have basically been possessed by evil. Like, there's a lot of bad things happening, and so there's a lot of weird moral gray lines that are potentially being brought up.
Absolutely.
But also, I don't know if we've mentioned this yet. Chris, in one of our live streams, jokingly made the prediction, like at the beginning of this book, that the humans were from another planet and that they were really the invaders for this thing. He just jokingly threw that out there, and everybody that had read the book in my Discord was like, "What the crap? He just guessed it."
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. There were some people. Somebody else I know guessed that too. I love that quote so much. Hi, Jess.
Yeah, that's a really good quote.
Is that a quote from Oathbringer? Like the in-world book?
I just thought that Dalinar said it at some point.
That was my thought too.
It may be from the book though.
I always wonder how, like, Sanderson, he has this 10-book series, and he knows what happens in this book. So I'm wondering, like, as he's plotting out, if he says, I need to make sure I keep these things hidden until this point, these things hidden to this point. Like, just that's gotta be hard to write, knowing the whole story, but writing it in such a way to kind of pretend that you don't. Like, that just must, like, no wonder he has to take a break every few years to do something else. Like, that just, I can't comprehend having to keep that many secrets as I'm writing, and write in such a way to make it seem like, the Voidbringers are the Parshmen, absolutely, for 10 years, 20 years, and then flip the script at everyone. Like, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
So, Rich in Michael's Discord brought up a great point, probably a month or a month and a half ago, on this topic. Where did I put it? There it is. So the Skybreakers are essentially trying to. He argues that the Proshendi are the rightful rulers of the land, and thus the Skybreakers must enforce their laws. So, thoughts on that take to this issue?
That's a good one.
He had a very well-developed argument on it, but I want to hear what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
I think
honestly forgot about that part till just now.
I think his argument is super solid. The problem with the Skybreakers as led by Crazy Nail at the end of this book is that he's also cool with Szeth being like, nah, it's more just about picking a code and sticking to it. It doesn't really matter what the code is. Like the reference is like the freaking Justicars from Mass Effect, because it's just like, well, it doesn't really matter. And that's why he's completely cool with Szeth being like, I'm going to pledge myself to Dalinar. It's like, I understand sort of what you're saying, but part of his argument breaks apart when it's like, well, it becomes a lot more postmodern when it's like, you just stick to your truth and make sure you follow your truth. That's what's important.
Because he's not, like you said, he's not forcing other people to do it.
That's the hard thing. It's like I think his argument for being on that side is super strong. But the fact that it's so nebulous when it comes to other Skybreakers is confusing to me.
It's like, for someone who's so dedicated to what he believes the truth in, he's like, but yeah, you go do whatever you want.
Sure.
Which is interesting.
That's what Pete says there too.
Here?
Yeah.
Not a brochure. Mm-hmm. That's so crazy that the gods like switch. That is so confusing.
Yeah.
How did that even happen? Maybe we'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, and on that note, too, the fact that, the thrill comes from odium. And we all knew from book one that the thrill, according to our standards, wasn't the best thing, but we kind of accepted it as part of the Alethi culture because, like, oh, it's their thing. But then to find out that, like, it literally comes from, like, the enemy god, like, that was, a twist in and of itself. And I think that's kind of what helped Dalinar's moment realize that, this thing that has meant so much to me for so long, and the thing that I'm starting to struggle with again, comes from, like, evil, or his version of evil in a way. Odium wouldn't call himself evil, I don't think. Would he call himself passion? Is that one of the
I
things
think he calls himself passion.
Yeah, but I think that realization is, I think, what helps Dalinar make his final choice, if any of that makes sense.
Didn't they try coexisting and it didn't work out? Because they tried, like, humans tried living there and weren't happy with. They were trying to live, like, in Shin or something.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I find
guess
it
we can always try it
impossible
again.
to answer that
cram
question without. I don't know how to separate what I know from Oathbringer and Rhythm of War on that one because I can't remember what is where.
Okay.
And that's what happens too when we read the section for the week like 2 weeks ahead of time.
It always happens at the end because you got to read the end in one shot.
I know. I'm like struggling. All these things that you're bringing up are all epic. I'm like, I haven't thought about this in 2.5 weeks. I don't remember this. So I'm like trying to like reprocess it real quick.
Okay.
When they first landed, I like that, calling it that way. I'm sure there has to be some like more connection to the greater Cosmere that we just don't know as far as how they got here and all that.
I agree with both Leslie and Ramsey with the craziness of the heralds.
Yeah.
I haven't been seeing Nail as like a sane person. Like, I feel like he's broken, and what we're seeing is him acting out of how broken he is by his experiences.
I mean, freaking Edge Dancer is, I mean, we're past Edge Dancer, so I guess we could talk about it. Edge Dancer kind of shows that pretty heavily, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, and you turn from being someone who's gone back and forth into, where do they go during their little purgatory place? You go back and forth there and then live for thousands of years, and then you basically become a psychopath, killing off everyone who used to be part of your little group. It's like, that in of itself was a recipe for lunacy.
Yeah, they've been through a lot, and there's been a lot of time passed. And I think we see evidence that like none of the heralds are okay. They're all dealing with stuff.
Yeah. Which is crazy because you've got, in the insert flaps of book 3 and 4, you have the pictures of the heralds, and it's like, this is the picture of the heralds presumably like in their glory days. And it's like, we're not getting that picture of them at all. And I feel like that's why Sanderson puts those pictures there. One, they're epic, but two, to kind of give us a visual reminder of who these people were, because we're seeing them in a very different state.
Mm-hmm.
Nail's just crabby.
Yeah, I think it was their ambition that made them push out of Shinovar. I think that's how I read it. Is humans were just so ambitious and they just had to conquer, and it was just inevitable that they were gonna like spread out over the lands.
So here's a question slightly based on that, Victoria. And Michael may know the answer to this, having read Rhythm of War, but I feel like it's something Sanderson might save for later. We know that humans came from somewhere else. Do we think that maybe they came from a planet that we are already familiar with in the Cosmere, or somewhere completely unknown? Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your questions, Christy.
I think
Go
that's
for it.
talked about in Oathbringer.
I think it gets answered for sure in Rhythm of War, kind of more of that stuff.
I can't. I'm almost positive that before Rhythm of War came out, I heard a lot of people talking about it in like the super like theory forum stuff.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, my guess is the Warbreaker world, but just because that seems to have the biggest connections, but who knows?
Maybe.
So, do we have any more theories or predictions to discuss?
Yeah, do your theories and predictions, because now everyone in the chat who has read Rhythm of War gets to hear about your predictions and
Okay.
theories.
Christy, how far along are you in Rhythm of War?
I am very near the end of part 2.
Okay.
I've been here for a week.
We never get to hear your predictions. I want to know how you think it's all going to wrap up. Without spoiling Rhythm of War, where do you think we're going?
You mean like in the 10-book series?
Just the end of book 4.
Or the end of book where you think I'll be where I think we'll be by the end of Rhythm of War.
Or yeah, what are your predictions for Rhythm of War without spoiling what you've already read? If that's possible.
I don't know if that is possible.
I feel like you'd have to go back, because we've done different like Rhythm of War prediction videos. I feel like that's where you'd have to go watch that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of my theories have been shattered, so I wouldn't have any good ones anyway.
I think Gavinor is gonna take over everyone. Gavinor is gonna grow up and conquer everyone. I don't know. Gavinor is alive, so I'm happy about that. I was worried about him.
Oh yeah, that part is so good when you find out that they all made it out safely.
Mm-hmm. I was really surprised.
What did you guys think about that bombshell freaking wedding at the end?
Yeah, that was I mean, surprise, not surprise in a way, but
yeah.
I mean, we're given a lot of things that change at the very end. We're given the wedding with Adolin and Shallan. We're given the fact that there's a new queen in town.
Yeah.
We're given the fact that Dalinar decides he's just going to be a reader-writer boy.
I think, oh man, I think Dalinar's dead in book 4. That's my theory.
What?
I don't. Well, okay, so
you might be right.
Dalinar. Okay, so
as long as that's not based entirely on my sobby voxes about chapter 10, then I don't want to.
I don't think he's heard those. I think that's just me.
I haven't heard
I
those.
told them. I complained about it for sure.
Okay.
My thought is that Sanderson is not like George R. R. Martin. He's not going to hopefully kill off random characters without giving them their true arc. It seems like he allows them to like arc before he kills them off for the most part. You have some kind of exceptions like Elokar. But I feel like you have at the end of book 3, like Dalinar, like his whole unity moment, like that could be the culmination of like his journey in a way. And to an extent it is a complete arc there. And I feel like he's starting another part of his arc. So I feel like you could kill off Dalinar in book 4 and still make it satisfying to his character, because he's already achieved a whole arc and he's already achieved a lot in the world. And you could do it in a way that would make the fans sad, but at the same time make it seem like, okay, this makes sense. So I definitely don't think Dalinar is surviving to the end of the series by any means. I don't know if that's a book 4 death, a book 5 death, but there's no way Dalinar lives. Like,
wow. Okay, hot take.
That's my hot take.
Maybe not a hot take because I haven't read Rhythm of War yet, but I mean, Sanderson, I wouldn't put it past him because of the amazing buildup that we've had of Dalinar. We love him now, and we love him so much. And yeah, to kill him would just that would get everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about Adolin.
Can I put that one up, Michael? Did you see that?
I did see. I probably wouldn't, just because
Okay.
it's spoilery for other things.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really, but it kind of is. I don't know. Everyone's lines are different.
Okay. I was gonna put that up because I was like, "Ooh, interesting." But
I mean, it doesn't really say that much, but I don't know.
I'm kind of wondering when the Ghost Bloods will become more of a thing because that's still kind of a loose thread at this point in Oathbringer.
How
And I'm
much
waiting for that to be more a part of the story.
how much do you guys like the Ghost Bud side plots in Words of Radiance / Oathbringer?
I don't know if
I did not like them at
Interesting.
all. I
I
thought
just
they were big distractions.
I just don't care about them that much, but I think I just don't know enough about them, and it's been like a really long time of not knowing enough about them. So I think now I'm just like, Ghost Bloods. But I also I want that to be wrapped up. Like I want that to be answered.
Watch Sanderson totally pull like a twist and be like, Ghost Bloods are actually like the most righteous people on this world.
They're the only good guys.
How did you feel about the Shadesmar section? Because that was all in the last quarter, right?
Yeah.
I liked
Because
it.
Shadesmar is a thing that has been like talked about for a very long time.
I
Yeah.
liked being in Shadesmar. I thought that was one of my favorite parts of Oathbringer. Actually, was getting to see more of that world. Getting to actually spend time in Shadesmar was really cool, and that we have like humans living there. And there's like this society, they have cities. I want more Shadesmar always.
The culture is crazy.
It's super cool.
Yeah, and the fact that what's her name? Syl is like, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal here, and I'm kind of wanted.
Yeah. Yes, I want to know what all that's about.
Yeah, Shadesmar is fun. Rich said something. He quoted the Maya part with Adeline Shardblade, dead Shardblade, and I wonder. Here's another prediction that somehow they're gonna find some sort of way to bring dead Spren back to life. That's a theory. Because she still has some semblance of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but she's still a little bit there. She's not like, she's like 1% still like sentient in a way.
She appears in 7 heartbeats instead of 10.
There you go.
I think Adeline would die first. I think he might be killed off first.
Yeah, that's my vote. No, I'm not like voting for it, but that's my guess.
Yeah, I like Adeline so much more now. But I feel like of those 4 characters, Adeline is the more dispensable one in some ways. But
If we're talking about competency levels, I think it probably depends on what scenario we're going in. Because obviously in a fighting scenario, Shallan is the weakest. If we're talking about something that requires strategy, Shallan might still be the weakest, though it could be potentially be Kaladin. If we're talking about something more intellectual on any level, it's not going to be Adolin or Kaladin, because Dalinar and Shallan are much more...
Yeah.
It just depends on the scenario, I think.
Rich says, for Shallan, define die. That's a good point. I don't see Kaladin dying anytime soon. Kind of going back to kind of my earlier theory of characters earning their death moments. Like, Kaladin just hasn't like earned it yet. Like, that would just, he's already a depressing character, and I've grown to really love him as a character. But it would just, this isn't Grimdark. Kaladin's not, he's not dead yet.
I would see absolutely no point in Kaladin's presence so far in the books if he just like died now.
Yes, exactly. His point, the point of his journey would be nothing at this point.
I mean, I guess there was a point. I mean, he like saved Dalinar.
I was gonna say he saved significant people in the series multiple times. That was not the end of
his arc, like clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, him being the first character that we get all these flashbacks for in a gigantic first book about, he's not gonna just die now.
I think you could make an argument that he could have died in the final battle of the Way of Kings, and it fit fine.
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I would have quit the series if that happened.
Because he has such a good arc, and then he has his first ideal. I feel like he could have died in that first battle, and it could have been thematically hard, but worked.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of I feel like the same way with Dalinar.
It wouldn't have worked for me.
Ooh,
like, now's the time to kill Dalinar. If you wait too long, it's gonna be too late again. It sounds like I'm like vying for his death or something, which I'm not trying to do. I just want a good story, guys.
I think it'd be easier to kill Kaladin in book 1 than if I don't think you could have done it very easily in Words of Radiance. I think it would have messed up the weird stuff.
Mhm.
And then obviously in Oathbringer, I feel like not killing him is maybe crueler. Like the fact that when Elhokar dies, he locks up and he freaking breaks down. I feel like it's almost worse than if he died in some kind of sacrificial hero mode.
Kaladin is the character that like we feel all our emotions through, and as long as Sanderson wants us to feel emotions, Kaladin's gonna be our boy for that.
Mm-hmm.
He's too much of the hero to kill off. I think there's a line of characters you can kill off. I might be kicking myself later after saying this, but I think there's a line, and I think Kaladin dying would cross that line. I don't know.
Yes, it would.
Sanderson has killed off main characters in series before, so
Yeah.
Has anyone cried in this series so far? Somebody
Yes.
in the chat mentioned that.
I definitely have.
Yeah.
I don't
In
remember.
Rhythm of War.
Book series are more like I just tear up. I'm not like sobbing, but like a little watery. I get watery.
I get chills a lot.
Yeah, chills is where I'm at too.
I full on cried in the chasm scene in Words of Radiance.
Yes.
I think I also did in the Sanderlanche for book 1. I got teary during Dalinar's you know, you can't have my pain scene.
Yeah.
As well as chills. They tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's all a Dalinar stuff. I'm right there with you, Michael. Like I don't really cry when I read, but the chills. And for me, it's a Dalinar moment in every book. It's Dalinar trading the Shard Blade in book 1. It's Dalinar when he sees Shallan as a Radiant and he realizes that they're back. It's Dalinar with this whole Unity moment. It's like Dalinar gives us these epic emotional moments, which is why he's gonna die.
He does, but I've actually been more emotionally attached to like Shallan and her internal battles, and like her moment with Wit was a moment that was super emotional to read.
It's really good.
That is a great moment.
I agree with Jade. She said I got a little watery when Elhokar died, but that's close as I got. I think I'm same there.
Yeah, the Elhokar moment I forgot. Yes, I was I was full on shocked at the Elhokar moment when I read that.
Oh, I know. I think I cried this time around, the second time around when that happened.
It's rough. And it's like it's everything is done together. There's him holding the sketch, there's him saying the words, there's him holding his children or his child, and then there is Moash doing the Bridge Force salute, which is like the worst ever.
It's just like hit after hit after hit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did anybody else wasn't there somebody else that died with Shallan's like drawing in her hand? Like somebody like when she was not even in the camps yet. She was on her way to the camps.
I think it's in that part of Words of Radiance where she sketches that like slaver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I think Rich is right. You better be careful if Shallan draws you.
I actually really like that moment that To the Next Chapter mentions as well, where Dalinar is basically like, I want to read.
Mm-hmm.
This one?
Yeah, it's a good moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. He's always willing to learn.
Mm-hmm. I just
in
love
the present timeline.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, even in the past one, he wasn't like he always submitted to his brother other than, you know, that one time.
Yeah.
Does everyone on the panel at least think that Dalinar was able to redeem himself with his actions throughout the course of the series?
I would vote yes.
So.
Could you say it one more time? Sorry.
Does everyone think that Dalinar redeemed himself? Do you think that he's gone through a significant arc that where you feel good with him being in the position that he's in, because he's in a very high ranking position?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. In a way, he's almost has like kind of relating it to the Bible, like an Apostle Paul moment. Like he did terrible things to kind of his own people, but he has learned to ask forgiveness and grow, and has said, "I was wrong, but now I'm going to live a different life."
the most important words a man can say scene always makes me cry, even if I like hear it in audiobook later on.
When does that happen exactly? Is that at the very end too?
I mean, I'm sure it is. It's in the Oathbringer, maybe.
Is it
But
in the Sanderlanche?
It's all a callback to like the beginning of the Way of Kings when Gavilar is assassinated.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. I was just trying to remember. I don't remember reading it this time around, but I know I did because I read the whole thing.
Well, I mean, this time around it was what's the most important step a man can take, right?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because I'm reading the thing is I'm reading the book, and when they're asking the question, what's the most important step a man could take, my brain always defaults to the first one, because that's what everyone always says. But for some reason, even though it's so corny and cheesy and like a marketing slogan you would put on a poster on your office wall, when they say no, it's the next one, it's like, oh frick, you got me. I'm a sappy little boy now. Oh man, that's such a rough freaking scene. Oh man, that's like the depths of like, you're not good, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Renarin's another character, Renarin, however you pronounce it, that I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of. Like, he has a part to play in this, I think.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because so many people love Renarin, and I feel like we've barely seen him in all 3 books.
Yeah. Like, he's slowly becoming more important, but he's very peripheral. Like, to the plot, anyway.
But this book, he's so sketch. Like, the stuff that happens at the end of this book, you're like, wait, what? What is going on?
Yeah.
My question with him is, if you can be bonded to like a corrupt spren, how many other people are bonded to corrupt sprens, and maybe like we don't know about it yet?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, like, how, I don't know, how many people are maybe good guys, but they're actually not good guys because they have a corrupt spren. Maybe people we know. I don't know.
That's a really interesting thought, because I remember reading several times over and over again, who so-and-so's spren doesn't like to show up in front of other people. They never show up in front of other people. Like, I read that a lot of times. I don't know who it was all in reference to, but
yeah.
Now I'm curious.
My brother mentions that.
Oh.
It's messed up.
Oh. Okay, guys. We have one more thing to do tonight, and we can always come back to open mic if we have some more time afterward. But here's what we're doing for a minute. I have scoured the interwebs today to look for interesting reactions that people had to Oathbringer. Most of them are criticisms. And I'm curious, I want to see how you guys all react and what you think about these thoughts about Oathbringer.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's
Christy wrote all of these, by the way.
I did not write a one. Some of them are funny. Okay, let's just start off with this one here.
Oh, the diagram is one of the freaking crazy coolest things, I think.
I think it's cool too.
But I don't think it's smart.
Oh, like, is the diagram itself dumb?
Yeah.
Not actually a genius. Oh.
Are any of them Elliot bashing on Adolin?
What?
There's a comment asking if any of the reactions are...
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keeps moving. Sorry. I don't think any of them did, actually. That's kind of funny. I would have expected that. Yeah. Maybe if it was like an earlier book, there would be lots of Adolin bashing.
Jade is not down with the diagram. I think it's such a unique extremely strange plot development. I cannot think of another series where something like that has existed, where this dude's like, I am smart some of the times, I am stupid some of the times, but one day I was very smart and I wrote it all over a room and I am now following that master plan. It's such a freaking crazy plot.
Well, I remember when that moment in Words of Radiance came up, I was ahead of it, or ahead of Kristen in it. And I'm like, oh, Kristen, we find out why Tarvangian's doing what he's doing. I'm like, there is no scenario that you'll ever guess. Like, Kristen, you're a smart person, but like, it's impossible to guess this. And yeah, I agree with Michael. It's a crazy plot thing that only Sanderson could have ever come up with.
I don't think this person was saying the diagram is a stupid thing to write about. Like, I think he was literally, this person was literally like, why the frick is anybody following this stupid diagram?
That's fair.
Here we go. Yes. It's really interesting, but I want to know why everyone else decided to follow it.
Especially when they're now like, oh, maybe we got this part wrong, and maybe we should alter this part.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he just trusts Taravangian so much as a leader. I don't know. Maybe he has persuasive pull over them, and he's like, this is an intelligent diagram, and they just are like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That made me laugh. That's funny. Okay.
This on anyone who disagrees.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where's Angela when you need help with science things? I think she's driving. I think she's driving right now.
Oh, is she heading somewhere?
I don't know.
If she's driving, she is.
She just boxed me from the car multiple times today.
Oh. Okay, let's do another one. This one, I so agree with. And I know not everybody does, but here's the first part of it, and then there's a second part. So I liked how nobody seemed to care all that much about Sadeas. I thought it would cause crushing guilt for Adolin and drive a wedge between him and the Honorable Dalinar.
I agree with that.
I agree with this. I agree with the second half of that. I think that I think it would have been more interesting to see a wedge between Adolin and Dalinar because of the Sadeas thing. Also, though, Sadeas sucked, and I think everyone kind of didn't like him at all. So the fact that he's dead and nobody else would care except for Dalinar, it kind of makes sense to me.
That was honestly one of my biggest gripes about this book, is that like we did get such a big deal about Sadeas' death at the beginning, even to the point of like Dalinar pointing Adolin as like the one to like investigate it. Like, this is going to have some major ramifications, and I feel like it was just like an emotional red herring.
So what you're saying is, Ryan, you wish that Oathbringer was longer because they didn't get all the stuff you wanted.
Sure. I wish it was more focused. How about that?
Yes, more focused.
Yeah, that's another one. I'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, I was frustrated too. I was like, really? Nobody cares? Okay, cool. Whatever.
Well, I think
just me.
This frustration for me was that it seemed like there were no consequences for murdering someone, even if it was Sadeas. Like, I just expected that to have repercussions for Adolin, and it just seemed to not.
The only thing is that the Alethi culture is so jacked up, I wouldn't expect it to have consequences. Just as Sadeas basically got away scot-free with killing 6,000 men in one, like, plotted, planned out murder. Like, the Alethi culture sucks. And it's all about, if you can get away with it, it was legal. And so, I don't know, that doesn't bother me as much, though I can understand why you might want to see more from it, because we're supposed to be looking at Aelin as a good guy, and he did a bad thing. But the culture sucks so bad, it kind of doesn't... It's weird that it's dropped. I for sure agree. It's weird that it was like a whole thing, let's investigate this thing, and then it's dropped. I definitely think that we can agree on that.
Yeah, I feel like it was a whole plot device to get Yasna on the throne. Like, I feel like, and not that I'm against Yasna being on the throne, I feel like that's a really cool direction to take it. But I feel like that whole lead up was just so that Yasna can get on the throne. It's like, yeah,
Rich brings up
that's interesting, Ryan.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Rich's point is awesome, I think.
I think...
Oh, the irony.
What... Yeah. Is that like, are we comparing Yasna to Adolin? I don't really like that Yasna's going around.
It's how the society sucks, and how basically you can get away with it. It's cool.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think Yasna is a good guy. Obviously, we're supposed to see her as a good guy. She's freaking sketchy sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true about that comment there. Shalon just being cool with it too, because Shalon's like, yeah, it's cool. I killed people.
That was
okay. Let's. I don't like to throw away the term murderer like willy nilly. Adolin is a murderer. Shalon is not a murderer. I'm pretty sure Shalon has only ever killed in self-defense, right? Well,
Yeah.
unless you count the final battle in Oathbringer, because the final battle in Oathbringer is different.
I mean, killing her father wasn't 100% self-defense.
I mean, kind of, but also
He wasn't a good dude. He was a bad dude who was abusing all of his children.
Sadius
He
was a bad dude too.
He was noble and he went insane because he was trying to be a good dude, but he wasn't a good dude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Shalon, Vale, and Radiant aren't like other girls.
That's funny.
Killing her father, was it premeditated though?
Oops.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe I'm in the wrong here because everybody seems to say that killing her dad was not self-defense. I thought in that moment, like, he was trying to hurt them, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think he was trying to hurt her, but I think he was trying to hurt her brothers.
Okay, I still count that as not being straight up like murder, like at least not as bad as what Adolin did. It's not the same thing.
Right. Or was she the one who kind of like poisoned him though?
I feel like it wouldn't have been justifiable in a court of law, but morally you understand definitely why she did it. I mean, it would be hard for her to like call the cops or something.
We're trying to interpret all these actions through our own culture instead of the Alethi culture. I feel like.
Yeah. In her situation, she wasn't even, so it would have been hard for her to do much else.
Yeah.
Though arguably I say Sadius is worse than her dad. He's definitely responsible for way more people's deaths.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, because that's the heartbreaking thing about Shalon killing her father. It's like he went insane trying to protect her. In the end, he kills her. Yeah. Or no, she kills him.
Yeah.
I feel like Adolin's whole thing, it would have been so different for me if he had immediately been like, I can't believe I did this. I'm going to turn myself in. But he kept it a secret and lied about it and said, oh yeah, I'm investigating it. And I understand why he did it. But that is not the actions of somebody who think that their actions were justified.
Yeah. On a completely different note, though, Kaladin finally getting his, like, quote, revenge against Amaram was so sweet.
But even he doesn't even get it.
I know it's Rock, but still, like, the fact that he has this epic showdown and it's like truly like good against evil at this point. Like that was just epic, I thought.
He does get to fight Amaram, one of the like not very morally gray bad guys in the series.
This was the end of that quote. Instead it was, I do it again, and we've all made silly mistakes. Very Alethi.
Yeah.
Zing. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna do another one now. Let's see what you guys think about this one. The Journey in Shadesmar and the Adolin Shalon Kaladin, oh my goodness, triangle started out and ended pointlessly. I agree so hard with this one. All of that was I liked being in Shadesmar, but like, didn't it end up being like pointless in the end because they didn't really? I mean, they survived. I guess was the point of going to Shadesmar. They survived and made it back.
I made a video about my thoughts about whether that was pointless or not.
Did you? I totally missed that.
No, it's just the most recent video I talked about where it's like, is it pointless just because it doesn't match what you think the theme of the book should be? Or is it important because it was still an important character moment for some of these characters?
I agree.
Oh, your Journey Before Destination video?
Yep. It was specifically addressing criticism around lots of things, including Oathbringer and some Rhythm of War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a ton of world building. I think there's a ton of character moments. I think that if you're making it into an adaptation and you have to cut certain things, you could either emphasize them more or cut them. But I think that when it comes to a series like this, where you're going to have all of these massive books, those character moments can matter to people. Like I like the people that saying it ends pointlessly and abruptly. I don't think that's the case. It just doesn't end. It ends like real life. So like in real life, sometimes you have relationships that you think are going one way and then they don't go that way. And it's like, well, we've learned as a person, you know, we had thoughts that we considered and then we didn't act on them. That doesn't mean they were pointless. They happen in real life. That's a real story. It also, on paper, when you're plotting out a story, maybe it doesn't have the conclusion that a lot of times stories do. But I think that's the difference in like, are we trying to write a tight story? Or did Brandon Sanderson somehow get somebody to publish his 15,000 page, I'm going to muse on everything?
Well, I don't even think the love triangle's over. Like, it was just kind of, I don't think that story is over. I didn't see it as over. I think it's a to be continued.
I agree with Victoria.
Rich has a good point, and that's the kind of point. That's kind of the argument I'm trying to make.
This one?
No, not that. Well, that point is not the point I was trying to make, but that's a more important point. The point before that was similar to the point I was making.
This one?
Which is like, like at the end of the 10th book, I'm sure that there are entire character arcs you'd be like, why did that matter? Because it didn't matter for the major plot. But it did, because it was like part of the ongoing story that we're telling.
I guess, yeah, because when Adolin was in the earlier books, I was always like, why is he even here? Like, he doesn't even need to be here. Why are we in his head, especially? That was part of why I had trouble liking Adolin at first, because it was like, why? Just why? So I guess I need a little more, maybe. Draining more crab cakes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree. Shadesmar, yes. Love Triangle, I could do without, but Shadesmar, yes.
I agree with what Ramsey says about Kaladin and not storing the fourth ideal. I feel like that was one of the biggest parts of Shadesmar. And yeah, you could have had that in any part of it.
I know.
But the fact we finally get to a point where Kaladin just can't say the words. And it's like, it's a ticking clock moment. He needs to say the words to save people, and he just can't do it. Like
That's true. That is important. We need to give Cal time to like process stuff.
That's the real reason that Christy couldn't handle Oathbringer.
That is like one of the biggest reasons, and I am not ashamed to say it. Not because I feel like Kaladin is like a failure or anything. There was like no forward progress for him in that book, and it was just not fun for me.
I think that's why I liked it.
Because he made no forward progress, you liked it?
Well, no, but I feel like he had time to like really reflect and grow on the things he did learn in the first 2 books.
Did he really grow? I didn't see any growth. The best moment for me is when Syl's like, it's time for somebody to protect you, which isn't really a great look for a soldier, you know, I mean, in battle. It's like, oh no. It just, I'm so worried about it.
He didn't take a step backwards anyway.
I was surprised it didn't happen. I definitely expected Kaladin to have sworn the fourth ideal by the end. I was very surprised that we didn't get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that part too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, Jess.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, I think I saw the love triangle as both what's being said in the chat, as well as I think it was Sanderson's attempt at having a realistic situation where characters are potentially interested in other characters and it be a love triangle without having it follow the typical YA love triangle arc without the angst. I think he was having the like, hey, these are adults in a series that you care about who might potentially be interested in each other. They find out that it's probably not the best option, and they move on in a sort of healthy way. I mean, not that anything Shalon does is healthy, but like in a sort of healthy way.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was kind of a twist on that, because it was like adults being smart about it. There wasn't a lot of drama. It was like, maybe, maybe not. And then they moved on. And I think that was a little bit of what he might have been trying to go for.
Yeah. And it's also setting up Shallan's love interest when Adeline dies.
Right.
You're
Oh
so
my gosh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's over. I think it's a setup.
Right, yeah. I agree.
Yes, Leah. I'm so used to that by now. I think it's set up so strongly in the first two books that no matter what, Kaladin will succeed, that it really does come as a shock when he's struggling. And like, it's not bad to show him struggling for sure. I didn't really care about much else. I cared about the Dalinar stuff, but there was a lot of other stuff that wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus Kaladin, like, just struggling. It was just painful to watch him struggling.
I think if Kaladin was just going to struggle and then say his ideal and get new superpowers and then kill the big baddie at the end, we might be reading a different series that Brandon Sanderson had to finish.
You mean the one he sets up in the first two books?
No, I'm making a bad joke about how the Wheel of Time first 4 books all end the exact same way.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I guess I was kind of preparing for that with this series too.
I think that would be so... I would not like that, I think. It would just be so... Like, oh, Superman's here. It'd be... I would have a hard time liking this series, I think, if it went that direction every time.
I don't know. I still loved the first two books, even though...
Oh, I absolutely love the first two books. I absolutely love the first two books. Don't get me wrong.
I guess
but
maybe
I agree with Ryan,
is...
where I think it was interesting to see him just straight up kind of fail in this one.
Yeah, it's just not enjoyable for me. Not that it's like bad, but yeah. I mean, I feel like if I was just following Cal, I would be very interested in that. But man, it's just such a long book for my favorite character to just do nothing that I enjoy watching him do. Just be sad.
I think that's where maybe like Wheel of Time comparisons get interesting, because I feel like we have a series of like 20 characters, whereas the first book makes you think it's about 4 characters. And the more books we get in, the more characters we realize are important.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of find it interesting that, like, even though each book has its own flashback characters, we're starting to get more Kaladin flashback scenes. Like, Oathbringer had a few of them, which was interesting.
Whose flashback scenes?
Kaladin had a few flashback scenes in this book.
Yeah, he did.
There's only like 2 or 3, but it's like this is not
like
your
with
flashback
Tara.
book. Yeah, it was. I just found that interesting that Sanderson's like, Shallan, this is your flashback book. Dalen, this is your flashback book, but Kaladin still gets some here and there. I just found an interesting choice. Don't really have much to say about it, but it was.
He has to keep Christy reading it somehow.
Way. There you go.
This is part of my problem with it. Kaladin always has maybe I shouldn't say the hardest, but to me it feels like he always has the hardest time, and some people get it like way easier, and it's not fair. And then to have this just really awful book for him, it's just hard.
Kaladin, it feels like Brandon Sanderson likes to write bad things happening to Kaladin.
Yeah, he does. He likes to torture him, which means he's torturing me.
That happens a little bit in Oathbringer. That's true.
Yeah.
Sanderson goes Oprah.
Everybody gets to be a radiant.
Oh my gosh.
Except for my best friend Adolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love
really
how Lopin's... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I was going to actually say a spoiler.
On that note, Lopin's Spren is like exactly like him.
Isn't that great?
So true.
I love that.
Gosh. Okay, let's do another thingamajig. We've already talked about the love triangle. That was one, but we'll move on to a different one because we just talked about this. But I was like, really? Somebody loved it? Who are you?
I have to appreciate the decision that Shalon makes in the end, and like I don't know, she's just so insecure all the time, and we finally had a moment where she was like, "No, I can be secure." And I think Adeline kind of gave her that. So for that reason, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Ryan and Victoria, where do you see Shalon in Rhythm of War? We're getting there's a year between the two books.
Oh man.
Is that a comment?
I was just asking that.
Oh, you were just asking. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not good at predictions. Ryan is though.
You say that, but you freaking predicted the ending of all of these books at the beginning, except for this one.
I have to go back and watch the Way of Kings talks.
You should. You should.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said. Who knows what I said?
Same here, Victoria. I have no idea what I said. I don't know. I think she's off doing secret missions or something.
Adeline has never been a great boyfriend, but
what?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, but he was a terrible boyfriend to everybody before Shalon. Every single girl.
Oh, okay. If you're talking about before Shalon, maybe.
Yeah, with Shalon, he's okay. Yeah.
I think he really
he's
helped her. I think he's really helped Shalon a lot. In my opinion.
He does, like he said, he does help her with her self-confidence, for sure. And he is a sweetheart. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, we never actually saw the wedding. It could be like 1 year later. Oh, they never actually got married.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
What? Hi.
She's probably bashing on you for saying bad things about Adolin.
Oh. Fair. I know. I don't have a problem with Adolin. It's just when people, I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like he gets protected a lot.
Adolin likes Shalon because he gets variety. All I know is people that hate Adolin.
I don't hate Adolin. Nah.
Oh man.
Well, maybe.
I mean, he has a type, and his type is all of them.
Yeah.
But he dated all of the girls, like every single one.
He wanted to make sure he found the right fit first.
I don't think that's what was happening there. Especially because they all dumped him.
You don't know. We're all speculating here.
Getting heated. It's getting heated here.
Too bad Adeline doesn't get a flashback book.
Yeah.
That would be a depressing book. Ugh.
Christy wouldn't read it. She would just skip it. She'd be like, I'm not reading this.
No, I would read it. It would just be really depressing. It would just be lots of sad stuff with
It would
Delamart.
suck for a really long time because his dad and his mom did not have a very good parent relationship.
Well, we're getting a runner in Renarin flashback book, so just saying.
We get to see the scene where he has to freaking give away all his lunch money to buy his drunk dad booze. A freaking dark world.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do another one of these.
No, that's the Bachelor.
That's perfect.
There's a TV show. No. Oh, that would be a fun one. Putting characters in their own TV shows. Like matching them up.
Oh, that would be fun.
Okay, what Stormlight TV show mashup do you want to see? That's not like a direct Stormlight retelling.
So, like, what character showing up in a TV show, or?
Yeah, something like that.
I have to think of TV shows. I don't watch.
Are you just talking like weird mashups? Like if we saw like a Taravantian version of like Breaking Bad or some bull.
Oh,
That's perfect.
Shalon could do. This is a little bit older. Shalon could do Alias, right? Take Jennifer Gardner's role.
That works on like so many weird levels. What the frick? Oh my goodness.
Calvin on Survivor.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Rock would
Dude,
win all the
dude.
cooking shows.
Rock as Guy Fieri in all of the freaking. Oh my word, dude, that's so good.
Rock is true. I didn't get that at first because I
Calvin in his house. That's so good.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh my.
Oh, there's no
word.
Calvin in 24. Leslie said that one. That's good.
That's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
good.
man.
Oh
We
my
could do
gosh.
Lopen on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
Oh my word. Also, Lopen is the game show host of like any game show, like freaking
Yes.
Family Feud or something.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Rock is
So
Guy
good.
Fieri. Oh man.
Hey, you have a request, Ryan?
What was the request?
Talking about dog alias.
No talking about the show Alias.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. I've never seen
Someday.
it.
I've seen 2 seasons out of the 5. Someday I'll finish it. And to answer your question, I think the pilot of Alias is one of the best pilots of all time. Now back to regularly scheduled Stormlight content.
Death on Ninja Warrior. Freaking Rich. Kelsier has the Survivor trademark.
I know. I love that. So great.
Hey, Graph.
Hey.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
These are too good. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I was
man.
thinking 48 Hours like the true crime show for a minute there. I was like, that would be a really strange matchup.
Renard on Big Bang Theory. I love that.
Oh, that's good.
It would be
he's
like
pretty
Renard and
nerdy.
Sigval. He could be in it.
We need to put Yasna in something.
Oh, yeah,
don't know
that's a
what.
good idea. But what? Yes.
She'd be on the
Yasna and like
Bachelorette, but she would like reject everyone. She wouldn't pick anyone.
That's good.
Yasna on the Bachelor.
Yasta and Bones.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes. Oh,
That's a good one.
that's good.
I was thinking Yasna in the West Wing would be funny.
Yasna is Temperance Brennan.
Yasta couldn't sub for anybody, but to see her in the group of like students and community would be funny.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yasna's Judge Judy. I like that.
Yeah.
That works. That works.
That is great. Well done, Ivor.
Yeah.
Adolin and Yu-Gi-Oh! Just to say it's time to duel. That's good.
Dang, you guys have so many good answers for this.
I know.
Hey, we need to throw someone into Stranger Things, guys. I don't know who.
I just say that we use Stranger Things as the opportunity for like Gavinor and Kaladin's baby brother and
All
like
the
the kid, all the kids.
Yeah. We can throw Dalinar in there in place of what's his face? Hopper.
Yes.
Yes.
Instead of like dating each other and having bad jokes, they just all share trauma.
Yep.
Oh, Liv would be in
Ooh.
Stranger Things. Yeah.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fit.
Yes.
Where is-
Listen, Stranger Things. Oh. Leslie says Shalon in Stranger Things and she likes the upside down / Shades Mar.
Yeah, Shadesmar is basically the upside down.
Real Housewives of Alethkar probably wouldn't be that different, would it?
That's probably true.
Taravangian and Death Note. Heck yes. Absolutely. That freaking needs to happen.
Graf says Renarin is Mr. Robot. Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that's
can
a
see
good
that.
show. I watched that recently. That's a good show.
I've seen the first 2 episodes. I can totally buy that. Man, this is a good one. Chris, you just pulled this question out of random?
Somebody
Yeah.
did a mashup, and I was like, that's awesome. Let's do more. I forget. I have to go back and credit now. Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. Oh, it was I think it was this one first, maybe. which was a great idea.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank
you could throw Lopin into any sitcom. Parks and
Shalani
Rec with
Gilmore
Lopin.
Girls, oh my word.
Ooh, someone needs to go into Psych. Who's gonna go into Psych?
I mean, Shalon is Sean Spencer in some weird ways.
Apparently, I don't watch the same shows as like any of you people.
Oh, have you never seen Psych?
I haven't seen like any of these.
I haven't seen a lot of them, but some of them.
Psych is my favorite show of all time.
I feel like it's maybe mean to say, but Renarin might be a better fit as Monk than Shalon.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost spoiled again. My goodness.
Psych is freaking good if you have not watched that show.
I have not.
Coit is Doctor Who. I mean, he basically is, right? Like, that's not even
Yeah.
crossover. That's just what Brandon seriously is writing Doctor Who fan fiction in his own fantasy world.
More or less. Oh, Overdose Chilpil said, Lane and Power Rangers. It's morphing time.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Jade has a good one. Said Kaladin and Prison Break.
Nice.
Nobody's mentioned Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Or The Amazing Race.
Oh, Amazing Race.
What is The Amazing Race?
Have you ever seen Amazing Race?
Never seen
No.
it. That's like my favorite show.
Basically, people just running around the world doing challenges.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what that is.
There's usually like teams of 2 people, and it's fun to watch them go head to head.
Amaram as Dwight.
Wait, Emery was Dwight? And Alan is Andy?
But I love Dwight, and I cannot love Amaram.
No.
Adolin and Renard and Supernatural. Oh my word. Oh my word.
Did I talk about it on the live streams, Rich? I don't even remember.
I don't even know. I've never heard you mention The Amazing Race.
Me
I
neither.
felt like we talked a lot.
It's just fun because I watch it with Kev. We don't often like the same shows.
It's a fun show. So if Shalon were in Friends, would she be Rachel, Phoebe, and Monica?
She would.
Okay. I was doing sprints, like daily sprints in the Facebook group, like live reading sprints. I'm thinking we'll do some more. Yeah. I'm thinking we should do some more of those, Victoria, sometime.
Yeah.
Which one?
Thaddeus Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, yes.
Freaking Ili or whatever her name is just freaking props him up in the boardroom.
Yes, please.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Siller and
Powerpuff
Powerpuff Girls.
That's a good one.
Throwback. That's a real throwback.
Yeah.
Ooh, good question.
On that note, would like Turvangian be like Dexter's Laboratory or something?
Oh no! Bearded Bookworm has a good joke.
Oh, no.
Yasna is Buffy. I can see that.
Buffy.
I can see that.
Also, Adolin is already a hot person. Like, he's established as being an attractive person, and everybody in every CW show has to be like a model. So he could work in Supernatural.
Yeah, that makes sense. See you, Graph. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
Oh, these are too good. Now I can't think of any more TV shows.
The Breakfast Club is a good comparison because they're kind of a chaotic group. Like, we love them all, but I don't think they would all be very great friends.
Yeah, and they all have
Who?
trauma.
Yep.
Do you guys mind if we go a little long? This is really fun.
No, it's fine.
Cool.
I feel like our end of book wrap ups are always a little bit longer. There's so much to talk
Yeah.
about.
It's the
Yeah.
last one.
Well, in that case, you guys keep throwing your TV shows at us here. I'm going
Adeline
to put.
someone
Oh.
so sorry. Someone said Adeline is 007. Caro said that.
Kinda. I mean that kind of fits. Like, yeah.
Oh, Space D says I would like to see Vale as Sherlock and Shalon as Watson. That is good.
Aw.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. Alien Gladiator.
Adeline and Braveheart.
Are you not entertained?
I feel like it's more Dalinar at that point.
Lopin would make a great Peregrine Took.
Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce your channel name. I'm sorry, but Pattern is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Lopin for Mythbusters.
That's a good
funny.
one. Okay, who's going on the Great British Baking Show?
Rock is the only cook, but I don't feel like he fits, right?
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
don't
saying
know.
Sigzel and Lopin for Mythbusters is a real diss at which one is which? Is Jamie the goofy one in Mythbusters? Because Jamie's smarter than Lopin is.
Jamie's the real smart one. It's Adam.
Okay,
who's
then
the
it's Adam.
goofball.
Okay. My Mythbusters lore isn't very good.
Okay, I have
Oh, listen.
another. Oh, go ahead. Was there another one?
That's that. Ryle said that, or is it Ryle or Riley? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. But Rock, of course, and Lift would be one of the judges.
Oh, she'd be a
For-
harsh judge too. She would be ruthless.
Yeah, she would. That's
Is
such
Yasna-
a
oh,
good one.
That's it. Yasna is Simon Cowell from like the old American Idol.
Perfect.
She freaking savage as
true.
frick, dude.
Oh my gosh,
She would spare no one.
Yeah.
that's pretty great. Kyle with an R.
Cool. Awesome. Sorry for
Thank
mispronouncing
you.
your name.
Is Adam the goofy one? And Jamie's the smart one. Did I mess it up?
No, you
Sorry.
said it right. I said
Did I
it
say
wrong.
right?
He was correcting me.
Oh, okay. Wait, that I don't get that one.
I just think it's a bad joke.
Oh, okay.
Like dark humor is what I mean.
You. That's the croc runner. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna do another of these little banner thingies so we can argue about it. Okay. Okay, so this is like a full, like a series-long critique, not just an Oathbringer critique. What do you guys think about this? I still think there's lots of tension in this, but obviously this person doesn't think so.
I think it is a very like I'm going to pull all the way back and look at like the plot points if I could explain the series in like the 3-sentence thing. I think that this is true about like I think that if you boil pretty much any story down to its like barest bones, it looks like this. Which is why I don't generally think that this sort of criticism actually means that much. That's mean for me to say, but I mean, I think that's what it means because I think it's when you boil it all down to like what's every comic book story. The hero suffers, the hero learns a lesson, the hero beats the bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's like when you boil everything down to the thing. It's like, oh, okay, so it turns out that the bad guys aren't as bad as we thought. So the people, the listeners that are good join together with the Radiants, and then we fight the bad guys. Like,
It's hard kind of analyzing a whole plot that simply. It's like Lord of the Rings, a walk in the woods and throw a ring in a fire. It's like, this sounds like the most boring thing ever, but you have to get down into the nitty gritty. It's journey before destination.
Yeah, that's what to the next chapter said. That's
You
a
still
really
get
good point about
the character
Lord of the Rings.
development, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Jade's comment. You fool.
That's hilarious.
Like
It's so
Gandalf.
true.
You fools.
It's so true. Yeah, that sort of boiling down tends to trigger me a little bit because it's like we could boil anything down to that.
I mean,
doesn't
like,
make it.
there's definitely books that don't do that, but I usually like hate them when evil wins. Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I don't think it's so much that. I mean, it's like it's the fact that it's too obvious the whole time. I don't know. Yeah, either you're somebody where you're going to write the bad guys as winning, or you're going to write the good guys as winning, and either way, it becomes predictable on some greater scope level. But that negates every aspect of the individual moments.
Exactly. What Michael said.
Yes.
I'm just copying what Ryan said, but I said it longer. He said it more succinctly.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the no tension. I feel like we must have read different books if they don't feel like there's tension.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was curious if anyone else felt that way because it was like, really? People feel that way about
I
it?
have heard a significant number of people criticize Sanderson's books for saying they have quote unquote no tension because the implication with all of the books that you read by Sanderson is that the good guys win, even if like maybe it's not a 100% win, it's a 90% win. Like he doesn't write books that are universally super dark. So if you know the good guys are going to win in the end, people are like, well, it's all predictable and there's nothing there. It's like, okay, that's a fair opinion. I don't hold it, and I disagree strongly.
Yeah. I don't hold it either. I think a good story can still have a level of predictability, but still be a good story.
Yeah. It's like you look at like every single romantic comedy ever made. It's like we all know how it ends, but there's still tension there.
Yeah.
I think I have 2 videos addressing that.
Yeah, Mike talked about that in like any romance. Like the premise of a romance book is that they end up together every time. Like, it's not about the end.
It's about the how you get there.
It's all back to, again, journey before destination. Like Sanderson gives us the key. We need to figure this out.
Man, everybody's
And, like,
freaking talking about pancakes now.
I know. I'm so hungry. I need French fries.
Frick, Rich. Got that quote on lock again.
Yep.
Journey before
First it was pancakes, then steaks, and now sausages.
Well, his next comment, too, is a quote, I think, from...
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that a response to?
I think the conversation that we're having, it's about, like, the
Pancakes?
journey. Oh, no.
Okay. I thought it was, like, about food.
About predictability of stories and what's important in a story. What makes an story? What makes it interesting?
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's why we watch the same movies or read the same books over and over and over again, knowing the ending. It's just we want to experience that. We want that catharsis in a way.
Yes.
It's the ultimate reason why people love Frederick Bachman's books.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes you just need a hug in book form.
Yep. Pancakes.
I'll take some dinner. For sure.
Yeah, Dalinar's case, we saw some of his destination for his journey. That's why it's so freaking crazy, because his redemption arc is told in such a backwards, non-linear way that we identify with his redemption arc before we know how bad he was. Even though we know how bad he was, then we see it, then we have to decide whether we're okay with it. And how much of it was his choice versus him forgetting. It's such a freaking crazy plot. Like
a Christopher Nolan way to do it.
Yes, it's like a crazy,
it's a
awesome
literary way to do it. Like literary fiction, usually how they make it exciting is they'll take a story and rather than tell it linearly, they'll just tell it all out of order and be like,
and that's
isn't it
freaking hard to
amazing?
do. It really is.
That's masterful writing. It's just really good writing.
building suspense, like that's one of the best ways to do it, is to take a story, write it linearly, break it apart, and rearrange the parts to give you the best emotional journey. It's
Which-
stupid hard to do, but if you can pull it off, it's like kind of Michael said with Downlar's journey, it's one of the best ways we can go on that journey.
And Sanderson even takes it another step because he doesn't just do what you just said. The character himself doesn't even know his own journey fully
Exactly.
until the end. It's so good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Good. I'm glad we all agree it's masterful. So this guy can just go read something else. Okay.
I think someone said earlier in the chat he can go read some Grimdark.
Yeah, do that. How about
You could read The Poppy War.
yes?
Still haven't tried that one yet.
How about this one? Maybe that's what that other guy wanted.
I mean, I think that also could have been interesting. I mean, that was clearly Odium's plan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like here's the thing though, like Sanderson, like he knows how to not upset his fans while at the same time like tearing their hearts out. And I feel like that would have infuriated fans at that point.
I'm also not going to lie. Like, even after Oathbringer, there are so many people that predict that this will still happen.
That's fair.
Reading it the second time around, I distinctly remember voxing Michael and being like, "How does is Dalinar gonna go bad, like in Rhythm of War or something?" Because I just saw this thing that Odium said, and he's like, "Finish Oathbringer." Yeah, it's pretty scary. I really thought that he was gonna go bad.
I kind of thought this was going to happen at the end of Oathbringer when we started to kind of go that direction, and that was revealed to us. And I was kind of wondering if this was going to be the twist, if Dalinar was going to join up with Odium. I think I know now Sanderson's style well enough to know that I don't think he goes for that kind of stuff with his main characters, but I could be wrong.
I think on that note, Victoria, I think if anyone that we have left standing, like I know people are saying right now that like it still could happen to Downer, and yes, like it could do his character. I don't think it will, just knowing the journey that Sanderson has him on.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll do it to Kaladin because that would just infuriate fans. I feel like Shallan might be our best bet for Odium's champion. I don't know. Just
So much
thought.
Shallan hate.
I'll try to say this correctly because I thought it was a really interesting thing. But I think it was Michaela in my Discord when she was talking about the Dalinar redemption arc. She was saying like the like comparing his redemption arc is almost like saying like he was an extremely obese person who got liposuction that helped head start him, and then he chose to live a healthy life with like dieting and exercise. Like the fact that he got liposuction didn't alter the fact that he still chose to have a healthy life afterward. It just kind of jump started him and helped him on his way.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Thanks for hanging out, Ryle.
Take care.
Good night.
Good luck
at
with
school.
school.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
Do not miss
Yes.
school.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Michael?
I don't miss being in school.
Oh, I thought you said I do, and I'm like, really?
Not as cool.
No, thank you.
No.
What is the Chewbacca defense?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, is it really? Yikes.
I mean, I can imagine how it would be painful.
Yeah.
Let's do like one more banner. One
Sounds
more.
good.
All right. Which one should we do? I'm gonna go.
Pick your hottest take, Christy, the one you wrote.
Dang, I feel like we covered like most of this ground. But let's do this one.
That's not true. Paladins are so religious.
Are they always? I don't know.
Yeah, paladins are like religious, like holy warriors.
Okay. When I think paladin, I think the kid from Dune.
The kid from Dune?
When you start Dune, he's like a kid, and you follow him. He becomes a leader. I don't remember.
Paul?
I didn't. Make
People
it
are mad at me right now.
His name is Paul.
Yeah, it's him.
Paladin.
Isn't he a paladin?
I mean, he sort of fits as a paladin because it is like directly tied into religion. Knights Radiants are literally paladins. I sort of get it. Like it's not strictly religious. It's the idea that you adhere as a religious order to some sort of code. So I guess that like all of them being the Radiants are paladins of a sorts. I don't know. Yeah.
I would be curious to know where Sanderson like thinks up his names, because I mean that is a good point that Kaladin, is one letter off from Paladin, and sometimes that's intentional, sometimes it isn't. I know that Aragon, like Christopher Paolini, has gone on record saying that he just took the word dragon and just switched around the first letter a bunch of times until he found something he liked.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Christopher Paolini took the word dragon and switched the first letter around a bunch of times until he got Aragon.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes sense.
I guess maybe my non-aversion to even that being a trope is the fact that paladins are like my favorite class anyway. So.
Okay, I guess I was wrong about what a paladin is. Let's see.
They're saying in Way of Kings Prime, Kaladin's name is Merrin. Interesting.
Ooh,
I'm so fascinated by name changes. Like in Lord of the Rings, Frodo's original name was Bingo Baggins.
Bingo?
Bingo Baggins.
No.
Yeah.
Bingo Baggins.
I'm really glad that got changed.
There is like 12 books that you can get, and it's all of like Tolkien's like early drafts of Lord of the Rings, and it is ridiculous the things that happen. I think the Ents march on Minas Tirith. It's some weird stuff happens.
Is Merrin the name of a significant character in some Japanese RPG? That's sticking in my head for some reason. I'm asking the chat, not you guys.
Not bingo. I know.
There was a hobbit had a ring of bingo.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo Baggins. Oh.
Bingo.
Ash Quest.
Oh.
What?
Well, Strider's original name was Trotter. Well, we're just throwing that stuff out of there.
I mean, okay, names are hard to come up with, especially if you're trying to be original and like have a name stick in someone's head. And if it's one of your main characters that you're going to live with for a long time, I can see how, you would need to go through a few drafts of a name until you're okay with it, and you have to live with it.
Can I go on a freaking tangent? Something I'm angry about that I'll never get over.
Let's do it.
So I've been working on this book series for no joke 10 years. For the longest time, I did not name my characters. I had literally in the drafts like MC for main character and things like that. I finally named my characters. And I named one character Finn and one character Ree. And a month later, they announced the names of Star Wars Episode 7 characters.
What?
And I was so upset.
Oh, man.
So,
did you spell them the same way?
Ree was Finn was exactly the same. Ree was one letter off. So Ree no longer exists as a different character, but Finn I'm keeping because I just liked it too much. But I'm like, of all the things that could happen, I was so upset.
Darn it.
I spent a year trying to perfect character names.
Mix it up and name a third character Ope instead of Poe.
Okay, cool. Ren and Finn.
But then you got Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Oh,
I go
gosh.
to the website 20,000names.com and just look up names and mix and match and probably find something I like.
I do that too. Okay, guys. Thanks for putting up with the silliness. That was really fun. We had to go over for the finale, of course.
Naturally.
Stormalong is also
Naturally.
over as soon as you hit end.
No.
Don't make me cry.
But is it
we're
though? Is
coming
it
back. Yeah.
at least
We're coming
twice?
back.
What is it really?
Like any good TV series, we're gonna milk it until it's not
Can
great.
anyone see what it says right here?
Yeah.
2023.
When are we doing this Rhythm of War? I think Christy, we said January, right?
Yes.
We don't have an
we'll have
official-
one January live show.
Victoria and
We're-
I need to finish reading it first.
Somebody has to start it first.
We're only planning on doing one show for Rhythm of War instead
Yeah.
of 4.
Yes.
So
Because it will be so
come to
fresh.
the all-day live stream.
Yes. All day live stream.
If we live stream and just read it while we were live streaming, it would only take us 4 days.
Only.
We would get Christy all the watch time she needs to monetize her channel.
Oh my gosh. It was the journey. Oops.
Yeah,
Not the destination.
you
So
guys.
do we need to say our sappy things now, or should we just like actually save it for the 4? Because I sort of say like this has been super fun. Thank you for everybody showing up. Thank you, Christy, for inviting me.
Yes.
Yes, same. This was the highlight of 2020. Like, no contest.
Definitely.
The people on this panel have genuinely become my friends that I talk to like daily now.
Same.
Yeah.
It's you guys are the best, and yeah, and to everyone in the chat who's been doing this with us since like May, like you guys are phenomenal.
This was my
Yes.
first like read along that I ever like co-hosted, so it's always going to be really special to me. And the bonus is that you guys are like some of my closest friends now, and I just have met so many people through doing this, and it's just been the favorite part of 2020, truly.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me, and thank
Yay.
you for
A
inviting.
year ago, I literally was my opinion was that you could not make friends on the internet, but
We
I'm
do this,
very glad to be
right?
proven wrong.
It has been so special.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes to all of those things. What? I'm so sorry. What did you say?
I just said that there's our sappy stuff. Check.
Yes.
But we'll be back in 2 weeks, so don't worry.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you guys. This really was amazing. I honestly, when we set out to do this and I invited you guys, I was super nervous. I was like, they're probably going to be like, no way, that's nuts. 6 months. And you guys said yes, and I was so happy. And then everybody in the chat showed up, and I was so shocked. I really thought it was just going to be us, like, chatting. And after we met Leslie, I was like, oh, good. We'll have somebody come to the chats, you know? So I can't thank everybody enough for being here and chatting with us and hanging out, like, so long, so late, so many hours of fun. And yeah, this is really like it's really kind of a highlight of not only this year, but like it's one of the most fun things I've ever been a part of, to be honest. So thank you. It's really been amazing.
Well, thank you, Christy, for spearheading this whole thing. This was your brainchild, and it was
Yes.
awesome.
Christy
so
did
glad
all the
you guys-
hard work. We just got
Yes.
to read a fun book and talk about it.
Yeah.
This was amazing, guys. All right. You guys are so welcome, and thank you for coming. Honestly, the chats, you guys are all so smart and wonderful, and keep reading books. And please keep chatting with us. We are
Yeah.
on Discords, and we'll be here on BookTube. So,
And we'll be back in
And-
2 weeks.
yes, yes, on the 17th, we will be back. So, all right.
Rich. I know, hard to believe.
Does.
We had some fierce competition.
Thank you, Jade. Thanks for hanging with us. And for your diary entries. So
Yes.
fun.
Gotta watch.
Everybody do check those out. Yes. They're on
Okay.
the playlist. So check those out. Alrighty, guys. I know. Okay, we'll talk soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.